everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Big Brothers of Destruction podcast. It's the Masaku.
And it's your boy, Swag Switcher, in the building here. And,
already starting off.
Fam, if I don't already just starting off, we'll never get to the end of it.
Okay, so what's going on?
So before we even actually start talking about the actual wrestling that has happened this week, right? All right. The first thing that I want to bring up, which has been something I've been waiting for more information on for a minute now, and we finally got some, and which also leads me to think that, man, if it can finally happen, we think the Diddy trial is going to be crazy and is crazy. This Vince McMahon trial? Fam, which goes to show, like, so, to be honest, there is a part of me, as crazy as it's going to sound, there's a part of me that wants Vince McMahon to not be at fault and for this to just be a big hoopla, misunderstanding craziness.
Is this a boiler room hot take? Because that sounds like a boiler room hot take.
You know what? Maybe it could be. But this is just me wanting to attempt to give someone a benefit of the doubt who probably, honest and truthfully, does not need to, but the good Christian man inside of me wants to be like, let me hear his side of the story, at least. Until I heard about what happened this week, which is the fact that, and it's always the ones who you think is close to you, his right-hand yes man, John Laurinaitis.
Oh, okay.
John Laurinaitis. I don't know what kind of term you want to call it. But John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, has turned his back on Vince McMahon and said, I will tell you everything you need to know from A to Z if you can let me out this bitch scot-free.
He snitched.
Oh, he's snitching. He is snitching. And so, after hearing that, I'm just like, man, because this is the person who is always there with Vince McMahon. One of the many yes men that Vince McMahon has had that's still alive. Because he's had a lot throughout these years, and a lot of them has dwindled down. But Johnny Ace, the person who was with him all the time, and he had to get through him, and turns back on him. He said, I'll tell you everything you need to know.
He basically got that quarter pounder with fries in the interrogation room. You know, he started eating, he started talking.
Oh, listen, he got more. Listen, with the way that I am predicting this to be, fam, they took him out to an all-you-can-eat buffet. You know what I'm saying? And they let him get the crab legs, so they paid extra for that.
Okay, so put us on. What's going? What is the new knowledge that you got outside?
So besides the whole John Laurinaitis thing, because that's just the main big thing when it comes to that whole case now. John Laurinaitis is now testifying against Vince McMahon, which is probably it. At that point, I think it has no choice but to be to his undoing, because if there was any person who's been involved in it, especially since his name was involved and it has been noted to be a part of this whole situation, he's about to sing like a canary, as they say. Literally. And I can't wait. And Vince McMahon is probably not going to be around much longer. He's toasty.
I mean, yeah, he was already gonna be toasted. Yeah,
he's been toasty, but he's real toasty. And it's one of those things where it's like I just be like, man, that sucks, because like it or not, Vince McMahon did a lot for the business, but that's
the one thing that always takes me back every time I think about this scenario. It's like, man, it's Vince, but you can't accept what he did. You can't in the slightest.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. That's literally me. Is like, listen, I have been watching it, and it's like, I get it. Rich people do dumb stuff. Rich people do crazy things, kind of thing. But it's like,
wishful thinking.
You know, I was like, I wish it could be false, but I also know that he definitely probably did that. Not even definitely probably. I think he did that shit. But at the same time, like, I wish it wasn't true.
Knowing that there's a YouTuber called Top 10 Wrestling. He's been going back on like recent interviews that wrestlers have done on the Howard Stern show, which, now I don't know if it's just the way of the world now has like kind of processed my mind to hearing certain things and be like, wow, that's a lot compared to back in the day. That was like, oh, that's normal, so it's just interesting because like Howard Stern is very much a person who wants controversy, who wants certain topics to be had. And a lot of times he's just like pushing for a specific topic. And a lot of it's like, yo, Howard, like you, wow. But the reason why I brought that up is like Vince being on there. He openly said on the podcast he cheated on Linda, like openly. And it was just like, oh, you do that? Like, how do you get away with it? It's basically the equivalent of we're just honest with each other. We're just honest with each other. She just knows. And it's like, that's crazy. Linda. And then, having the kids go on there too and the same thing.
I mean, yeah, it really is kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's almost like the that behind the scenes that you never get to see unless you're in that circle of people. Like, and it's one of those things like you see it in movies all the time, and you watch these crazy movies, and you're just like, ain't no way that's real. But then you hear just little small snippets and tidbits of information. You're all like, damn, so that shit really does happen. Prime example, like I kind of brought up earlier, the Diddy trial situation. Like, you want to think that these things only happen in movies, but movies are kind of based on some kind of truth.
At least,
like nothing is really as it seems. Like, going just a slight bit off topic because I watched it the other night at random, just so happened right after AEW. Freaking Pee Wee Herman.
Oh yeah, he's getting a documentary or something like that.
Yes, it's already out. I watched it.
Oh,
now
okay.
I don't know if there's going to be like more episodes, but there's 2 episodes, and it's kind of crazy because the fact that this documentary was done literally right before he died, and some of the stuff that he says is kind of ominous because it's like it's literally him just giving his truth and giving himself out in this documentary legitimately right before he actually passed away. But it's like we saw what Pee Wee Herman was and the things that he represented and the things that he did on TV. But who that motherfucker was in person, on a personal level, a completely different person. His name is Paul. I forget his last name, but like Paul, like he talked about like who he was back when he was in high school and when he was in college and all this other stuff. Like, you would have never guessed who this man was.
Oh, he was that mysterious.
Not so mysterious. It was more so the fact that he did the thing where he was like, hey, when I'm in front of a camera, this is what I am, and that's all you're going to see. And when he was in college, when he was in college, he was full-blown gay, cross-dressing, did a lot of very interesting art movies and stuff like that. Like, because if you can imagine, an art student growing up in the 70s, that's exactly what he was. Super hippie to a certain degree, super concept, all this other stuff.
Very queer.
Extremely queer. And he was. Okay. As a matter of fact, he dated a black man for a very long time. And once his career kind of sort of started going off, they kind of ended up going their separate ways, kind of thing. And honestly, from what he kind of said, like that was like probably his one true real relationship he's ever had. Like he from that point, he decided that if he wants his career to be something, he had to not show himself as being gay and never admit to it. So he put himself, like, he was original, like the way he described it is like, I was out of the closet and I went back in, I locked the door type situation. And so it was like he did those things because he was like, because at that time, only up until now, has, you know, that been very, very openly accepted. Like, God rest his soul, if he was still doing shit right now, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah, he would have saw a huge difference in the
but
community.
Even then,
the same thing with who better than Cannon?
Exactly. But yeah, so it was like he, you know, doing the whole thing. He kept to himself, kept, you know, all that. It's highly recommend you watch. but to bring everything kind of sort of back in though, it's just that it's people who are, when you meet them in person, you know how they often say, you know, never meet your heroes, because sometimes your heroes are not actually heroes on the inside. They just portray one on the TV screen. And so
two different individuals, basically.
Exactly. So it's like it'll be interesting to see. I'm so ready to see where this trial goes. But moving away from that piece, the other little bit of interesting situations that's been going on with wrestling here, before we even actually talk about real wrestling, I've had some interesting clarification on this, so I'm gonna just present everything on the table, and I'm gonna let you guys think and figure out how you feel and what you say is yay or nay. So It started off with the fact that I saw this video, and it was talking about the fact of how people, the general population, feels that WWE is trying to snuff out AEW. So this past weekend, AEW has Collision, and AEW has their, I think it was All In, right?
No, Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, there it is. They had their Double or Nothing pay-per-view. WWE, they had their Saturday Night Main Event, and they had their NXT pay-per-view. And you had to pick which one you wanted to watch.
And this would have been the second time I would have picked AEW, and I should have picked AEW because I as much as I enjoy NXT and maybe Battleground would have probably been fun, AEW to me would have been way more fun.
So, and that actually kind of goes into a thing I was talking about last week, where the difference between just WWE and AEW in general is WWE, they entertain and they have amazing storyline that reside in matches. AEW has amazing top tier, top of the line matches that just so happenly have a little bit of story that goes to them. And their pay-per-view, this previous pay-per-view, honestly had both. I'm not even going to bullshit you on that. Like,
you talking about storyline and matches?
For once, I don't know what happened in between.
Yeah, come on. Go ahead.
I don't know what happened between the last AEW pay-per-view we watched, then going into this AEW pay-per-view that just happened.
Okay.
Because from that last pay-per-view and back, AEW's been ass. All right. But after that last pay-per-view, it's like someone said, "Hey, yo, get out the fucking seat. I'm going to sit here and let me actually rock this shit and make this be a legitimately decent watching, you know, cinematography of wrestling." All right. Someone said, "Move over. Let me cook." Whoever it is that told the other person to get the fuck out, and the guy who sat down and said, "Let me cook," let him stay and continue. Let that be his kitchen.
It definitely ain't Tony Khan, I'll tell you that much. Definitely ain't Tony Khan.
Whoever it is, give them that kitchen. You take your keys, put them in his hand, and walk away and let him do it. Because whoever it is, whatever has changed, lock that shit in. Because
Okay.
ever since AEW has been producing and pulling out nothing but bangers. When they say that AEW has been on the rise as of lately, it's not a fucking lie.
So you can, I would say I will say compared to AEW back in the day, like to now, like the product is so much better as a wrestling wise. It's always been somewhat decent wrestling wise, but the product in the most recent era that we are in. And the funny thing about it is AEW, do we have eras? I don't know. The four pillar, I know it's the 4-pillar era, but like
I don't think so. I would say AEW, if you were to give them an era, there's been 3. There's been what I would call the what do you call that? I would like to say I would call it I wanted to call it the Goldilocks, but I don't think that's the word I want to use. But like the best way I can describe it is they had their startup era, the beginning, their genesis,
the launch era,
right? And the launch era was great. It was different. It was new. It was fantastic. It was great to see. And then with the launch era, whenever you first start something, there's growing pains and trying to figure out where you're at, how you want to do it, and that lasted for quite some time. Doing and dealing with all of that. And then there was the COVID era, which COVID, to me, their COVID era almost put them on the ass. I mean, granted,
it was really that death match. It was really that John Moxley and Kenny Omega death match where it ended with that wee bitty explosion. It actually is in their game too, and that's what's even worse.
Sometimes you have to make fun of yourself, you know, and just be like, yeah, we did that. It was bad, but you know what? So is the Shockmaster. So
it's funny how I haven't even told you these eras, and you kind of already give me the eras because I actually just looked it up. There is the launch era, there's the pandemic era, there's the Forbidden Door era, so the super indie boom. Then there's the drama era, which is the backstage chaos, you know, the fight, the brawl, the all out brawl out. And then there's the Collision era, when Collision, you know, started to get really start to peak, it started to launch and stuff like that. And then there's the post-punk era, or the rebuild era, which is currently where we're at, is the rebuild era. And to me, it sounds like it's rebuilding.
It's very interesting that that's how they. I mean, I can easily agree, and I feel as if like this quote unquote rebuilding era is. I think they've. Because how long has Punk's been away from them for a good minute now? Like a year.
A year. Yeah, it's a year.
So Punk's been away from them for about a year, kind of thing, and so it has taken them a year of producing absolute dog shit to finally have a stint where they figured it out. And I think it's because of the fact that I think they're in a spot where they finally figured out who their stars are, what they want to do with those stars, and who they mesh well with. Now, I still think AEW still has way too many people right now, unless they actually do what WWE does and is do a legit brand split. Because it's not like they don't have enough titles to do that. But at the same time, I think they kind of sort of already have a slight brand split because they have Ring of Honor. But I have not watched any Ring of Honor to definitively say, you know, a yay or nay on that. And what I can also say, though, is that Ring of Honor is like, still is kind of seen as their NXT because, what is it? During the was that during the pay-per-view? The Hurt Business went up against the Day One Boys.
Yes.
And it's like the Day One Boys, they're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And now they're coming up and challenging the AEW Tag Team Champions as if the AEW Tag Team Champions are a more desirable belt than the Ring of Honor one. Or at least that's more so how it came off to me. And so there's that bit. But going all the way back to it, though, but yes, that was me complimenting AEW. Going back to it, though, is the fact that it has been noticed, because it happened this past weekend where WWE was booking on top of AEW. Well, in July, it's going to happen again for AEW's next pay-per-view. It's going to be All In versus Great American Bash, NXT, and Saturday Night Main Event. And a lot of people are all like,
AEW, what are you doing? Well, not AEW, WWE, what are you doing? Excuse me.
Yeah, everyone's all like, WWE, what you doing? I thought you said they weren't competition. Blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Now, on the surface, there was a part of me that's all like, yeah, I have noticed that. And the fact that this is going to happen a second time in a row, very peculiar. But as the group chat does, the group chat has lots of good minds in it, and they sometimes they speak some interesting truths. And on the other end of it, it's like, from what I was kind of told, is more so the fact that, like, it's not about them. It's never been about AEW. WWE has just decided that this particular format that they're doing is just part of their already planned out, long drawn out, thing
Stories.
that they're doing.
So his plan is always to get rid of AEW, but like
no. It's not that they did not plan to do this to AEW. They just planned to do this because they're thinking of other things as opposed to AEW. So you've heard the whole thing that Triple H has said that, like, we're in competitions with NHL, NBA, NFL. They're competing against the normal sports brands. All right, that's what WWE is paying attention to. So they're doing what they're doing, and they're doing it the way that they're doing because of the fact that they know it has been carefully calculated that when they're doing these particular things, that's where the money's going to be, and that's how and when they're going to make the absolute most money out of their product. Because if there's anything, because prior to this, because this is actually on the same week, we had this conversation the other day about with the whole thing of them pulling WrestleMania from one place to another.
New Orleans, yeah.
So it's like how we was talking about how, like, Bully Ray was talking, and we discussed the fact that Bully Ray's not thinking like a fan, he's thinking like a booker. And so because he's thinking like a booker, you got to take your feelings out of it. And it's all about, where are we going to turn up the most dollar signs, and how are we going to turn up the most dollar signs? And so this whole situation that's been going on, where it's like, oh, WWE is putting their shows on top of AEW. It has been explained to me that no, it has nothing to do with AEW. The only issue that it is for AEW is just the fact that y'all just so happenly are having a show the exact same time we're trying to make money. And so it's not so much that they're worried about AEW. As a matter of fact, from what I've come to understand, they're not worried about AEW at all. And they have better ways of shitting on AEW, which are actually personally my favorite ways, which is when you go and it's like, let's say, hypothetically speaking, something happens and Darby Allin's contract ends up going up. And then WWE goes to be like, hey, Darby Allin, we're going to give you a lot more money than them, and we're going to make you a star instantly. And then they do it.
In a nutshell.
Look at Ricky Starks. I'm sorry, not Ricky Starks. Ricky Saints. Look at Penta. Right.
You're right.
But it's like Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, goddamn Jade. Look where they at. Look what they doing.
I don't know about Phoenix right now, though. They doing my boy dirty. They doing my boy dirty.
Listen. Well, I said it last week. Like, because at least with Penta, there's reasons by it, and there's a story being pushed by it. Phoenix, he's just taking these L's, dog. He's just taking these L's.
And I don't like it. But I mean, he got his WrestleMania moment, you know. For someone who just came in the business, not in the business, for someone who just came into WWE, he at least got his WrestleMania moment immediately.
Which is crazy. No one ever gets that. That never happens.
No.
And of course, it happened to one of a past good, well, decently shown AEW star. So it's like, so that there's that whole thing. I'm on the fence. I would like to believe, and I won't say I like to believe, but I feel that the information I got from our group chat, it makes perfect sense. And considering where they stand, it's hard for me to say that that's probably not the case. However, at the same time, boy, oh boy, it's kind of coinky dinky, don't you think?
You got a point. Like, I'm not disagreeing at all. It is definitely a thing.
There's a merit for both arguments to be had. However, there's a merit for both arguments to be had, and where I do believe the fact that WWE actually does not give a damn, and this is like, hey, yo, listen, we're not doing it because we're trying to fuck them over. We're doing this because this is where the money can be made. And honestly, that's what I believe. But at the same time, it's all like, but you know, it could help. You know, it's like but hey, if it happens, right? You know, but that's that bit. And that's just the stuff happening outside of wrestling. Inside of actual wrestling right now, there is so many things popping off right now. Like, I wanted to talk about the pay-per-views, one pay-per-view versus the other. However, I'm pretty certain it's easy to say that NXT was great, but AEW was definitely better.
10 times.
Like, now granted, I also do think, AEW got 4 hours. The pay per view was. They packed so much in a pay per view. Like, goddamn, like,
it is a lot.
That's like my only gripe about AEW pay per views. That's like, man,
every pay per view is like a mania.
Literally, it really is. Like. And it's like every pay per view is like a mania, and it's not like and then right after they had a whole special going on, like. So it's like, but freaking to talk about Raw real quick. Number one, my boy Brunson is back, okay, and I am just solely from Brunson Reed. I'm enjoying this whole thing with Seth Rollins. All right. Seth Rollins, although I like how they did not answer the question like why Brunson Reed joined, because when they was talking about him in the ring, they was all like, you know, Brunson Reed's the only person who could who literally almost killed Seth Rollins.
Yeah, they picked him up. They digged him up.
Oh,
they gassed him up.
Oh yeah, they super gassed him, but it's all like, okay, so yeah, we know that Brunson Reed is a force of nature and he's something to be reckoned with. And you know, we know how like he did what he did to Seth Rollins, but why did he join Seth Rollins? And they really didn't answer that. Unless I missed it.
It definitely felt like, you know, if you can't beat him, join him.
maybe that's what it was, and that's what I'm just assuming. But I try not to just assume.
Yeah.
But it's like that was a whole deal for me. I was like, all right, yeah, gas, and he's here. That's it. Okay, all right. But like, I'm enjoying the direction that they're going with this whole rigmarole, and I'm just waiting to see like where the payoff is going to lead to later on down the road, kind of thing. Now, Lyra, she's been doing stuff. She's been doing it for me. Like, she was that person where at the beginning you're like, all right, I don't know what you are, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm waiting. But fam, she came out there with daggers on her tongue, dog. Like, she came out there, cut the meanest promo, talking some mad shit. To the point where I was like, the fact that Becky Lynch came out there still, I was like, she's mad. And then when she, like, I didn't write down exactly what she said, but fam, some of the points that Lyra was, some of the points that she was putting on Becky Lynch, I'm like, yo, Lyra out here like, take that bitch, take that shit. Like, she, like, bam. I'm talking.
Take that bitch.
Daggers.
Not the Diddy. Take that.
Bam. She was. Listen, if her tongue was daggers, yo, she murdered her with the shank, like straight up. I'm like, all right, Lyra. Hell yeah. That's our Intercontinental Champion. That's what we want to see. None of this stuff that Selena Vega's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me that, Lyra. Yeah. Intercontinental title over US title always. But
yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that Selena Vega stuff. But anyway, this is not a good ring.
Looking at my notes, you're correct. We're not gonna talk about Selena Vega. But freaking, I tune in to NXT for one thing, to see our TNA champion. And he came out there and, you know, talking his hot garbage, right? Now, before I actually do say that, though, I just want to give Ethan Page and Ricky their props.
Another AEW guy, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Fam, not you mean AEW guys?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because we mentioned Ricky Starks, and you also have to remember Ethan Page. And Ethan Page wanted to be a champion so bad at AEW, and they just weren't having it. And he ends up being, what, a 2-time champion in WWE right now? Like, and this we're talking about, like, not just the heavyweight title, but just champion in general.
Yes, he's had 2 belts now.
Yeah.
Like, but and it's like one of those things where it's like, man, they really dropped the ball on both of these guys. And I know for a fact when it comes to Ricky, they definitely dropped the ball. Like Ethan Page, I just feel like he just got lost in translation with the AEW wave, but he was also there in AEW during a period that they were ass. So it is what it be. But that their match that they had, and now he is he took his belt from him. Yeah, North American champion. Mm-hmm. That match, fantastic. It was. If you haven't watched it, watch that because they've been doing that whole thing where they're just like super butting heads to the point where they're like, "Hey, yo, fuck the rules. I just want to beat the dog shit out of this other guy right now."
Fuck the rules.
But yeah. Aside from that, Trick and A, okay. I fucks with Trick Williams, all right? And the promo that he cut, this heel persona that he's trying to do.
Uh-oh.
I feel it's being... I don't think Trick is comfortable with the position that he's in right now. Like, I feel like Trick does not...
want to be a heel?
I feel I more so feel that like his heel persona comes off just a little fake, just a little bit.
It's not natural.
Like, yeah, like he's trying, You know, he's trying to he's in his Hollywood era right now type thing. Like, I specifically made sure I watched a little bit of TNA because he was going to be on TNA to say something, and he does not show up to TNA, but he records a video talking about how he was going to show up, but like he was only going to show up if he was flying first class. And, or if he was first class, or it was supposed to be flying private. He needed to have the 5-star hotel room and enough room for his entourage. And he was like, I checked what they was going to give me. They had me riding coach. They had me in a regular hotel, and my entourage wasn't having it. So I decided not to show up, type thing. And he's going on about this. I'm just like, all right, Trick. So we're Hollywood, Trick, right now is what we're doing. Okay. But like I'm not feeling it enough. Like he doesn't do, I don't feel like he's healing up. He's not not heel enough kind of thing. Cause the other thing that I see when I see him trying to be heel, unfortunately, and it's like him trying to be heel is like him trying to be a more over the top version of what Williams is. Not Williams, goddamn him. Goddamn freaking
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to be Carmelo Hayes, but he's trying to be Carmelo Hayes but better, and it's not working. Mm-hmm. Or he can't quite nail it type situation. But now they got him being lined up to take on what's his name? Santana, I believe it was. Because then Santana comes out there and is like, nah, I'm gonna bring this TNA title back home. And it's crazy because it's like, because Santana, you know, he is a hood Boricua, you know what I'm saying? Like a New Yorican type guy. All right. And then Trick Williams is this fake Hollywood suburb nigga.
My thing about it is, like, I've seen Mike Santana is still currently like the HOG heavyweight champion. He's apparently been that champion for like a really long time, and he faced against Cedric Alexander recently because like Cedric Alexander just got out of his 90-day clause. And I watched that match and I was like, I've known Santana because obviously LAX and then, you know, what he did in AEW. And I'm really sad that, you know, him and his tag team partner, I can't remember his right name right now, but like they had to split. And because of just differences and stuff like that. And, you know, and it's just like how you had we had the conversation about, you know who, you got to put bread on the table. And that literally was it. But the thing about it is, too, it's like as a tag team, you were putting bread on the table. But he was like, man, I just want to do a singles career. And it was like, nah, you know, we should really just keep doing this tag team thing. It's like, it's cool. But I kind of just want to try some single stuff. And in that complication, everything. But I say all that is I have yet to grasp him as a singles competitor yet. Like, I know he's done a couple of matches. It just don't feel right. Does that make sense?
Oh no, I feel that. It's how I feel about what was the Acclaim. All right. Because now they've split up. And now they're doing their own things. And it's like Platinum Max Caster or whatever. Mm-hmm. Max Caster, greatest wrestler. There's
Stupid.
And then his homie, his name always, but with his finishing move, the Molly Wop. Like, now I have to at least give him some credit because he puts on a banger of a match. Like he surprises me, kind of thing. But it's just that whole deal of like, but y'all was so better like this. Like,
literally, you were so much better as a tag team. It's kind of like how when WWE was like, hey, let's split up Devon and Bubba, and it's like, why would you do that? Like that's stupid. Like that's
Devon
literally
becomes
them.
Reverend Devon, and Bubba Ray becomes or just remains a Dudley boy, and which is kind of sort of what's happening with these two, because one is this the what's his little gimmick thing that he says, like he's the top 5 something another or whatever, and he's actually serious. Freaking the Acclaimed boys.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about, like, I thought we were still on the Dudley Boys topic. Sorry.
Well, making the comparison though is the fact that damn, his name's gonna like hit me later on, and I'll be like, why the fuck did I not remember it? But it's like, he's on this hand, with his finishing move, the Mollywop, which is just funny to me. But it's like, he's having these banger of matches and whatnot. He's got this whole, I'm like this five something that he always says that what he is. He's like the 5-tier player or something like that. That's like his little moniker he's going with right now. And I would say that is, comparatively speaking, the Bubba Ray side, where it's like they go off and because he still does the scissoring thing. So, and he's got Billy, he's got Daddy Ass with him.
It's almost like the equivalent of when Jey Uso or when Roman Reigns split from the group and you're still using the same fucking theme song.
Yeah, and so it's like, he's still got the scissors, he's still got Daddy Ass with him, and he is the 5-tool player. That's what it is, right? While we got Max Caster, greatest wrestler alive, out here getting jobbed the fuck out, disgracing the good name of Platinum, which kills me inside. Here you go. Like, I'm just like, wow, bro.
Not you giving shit.
Like that, like, it's not like I wasn't going to use the whole Platinum thing, but now you're making me regret it. Like, goddamn, anyway. But it's like, he's taking the Reverend Devon route where he's being goofy and stupid and getting his ass beat every night. Barely relevant anymore. But needless to say, with going on talking about AEW though, right? Oh, and also before I move on from TNA or NXT, La Primera dropped the belt.
Wait,
Stephanie?
Oh,
she lost.
Yeah, we knew that was happening. She's going to main roster, dude.
I mean, something like that, but it was just interesting that they just randomly did it on a random episode of NXT. Like it. And the even crazier thing was the fact, like, everyone's reaction. Like, everyone reacted like that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, the crowd, they was shook. Even old girl, when she got the pin, she got up like,
was that supposed to happen?
Did I fucking do that? Like, yeah, she got up like she was lost. And then her friends came to the ring like, yeah, you fucking did that. Yeah. Like, it was an interesting scene how all that went down. And so I am curious to see where that is going to move forward with. Because right now would be a really awkward time to send Stephanie Valkyrie to the main roster with all of the Money in the Bank stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the reason why they're doing that. Because the shakeup.
Well, now if that's what I don't know when do you know when that's supposed to be happening? Is that happening after the Money in the Bank?
They said that there wasn't supposed to be a draft. They're just going to shake some up.
Oh. But I'm just saying, like, for her to just move over there right now in the middle of the Money in the Bank stuff, is like, number one, to me, a little dangerous, unless they got her. I mean, granted, they also have the Worlds Collide shit that's going on, so there's that. So maybe it might have something to do with that particular bit. Not entirely sure, but yeah, it was a good match. It's going to be interesting for her to be on a different show that Booker T's not on with his horny ass fucking Listen, that like that Booker T be killing me with that shit, bro. But to get to the good shit though, first off, Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. When I tell you that they did it without repetitive false finishes, and they made that match that good as they did, to follow up after Anarchy in the arena.
Yeah, you had to really follow up really nicely with that match, because like the biggest thing about Anarchy in the arena, it was a lot.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
A lot, but it was so good. I'm sorry.
Fun. Like
I
think this
very
one
fun.
like this one, funny enough, this is like Swerve's second one, but I think this particular Anarchy in arena, this one took the cake so far.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, having the bodies hit the floor and everything.
But their match, god damn. I loved it because I feel as if that, once again, whoever has the keys to the kitchen right now, they're cooking. They are cooking up wonderful meals right now, and they are going to bring this restaurant. It's like they got Gordon Ramsay to come in there and be all like, all right, this kitchen is absolute dog shit. I'm gonna give you guys new equipment. We're gonna do a reopening of this bitch, and I'm gonna whip you. Listen, the prior pay-per-views, all that stuff that I was talking about, yeah, they were serving us raw chicken and fucked up scallops, okay? And then after the previous pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, what was it? It was Double or Nothing was the last one. No, the one prior. Because we just got them watching Double or Nothing. But the other one, which had the fucking
that wasn't Revolution.
Whatever that pay-per-view was.
Yeah, whatever it was, yeah.
Whatever that pay-per-view was, they hired Gordon Ramsay, and they was like, all right, listen, we're going to remake this kitchen. We're going to give you new equipment. We're going to teach you guys how to actually fucking cook some shit here. We're going to give you guys stuff that you can actually cook, and we're going to run this shit back, and we're going to do a grand opening of this whole thing. All right? And for the last couple of weeks, that's exactly what they've been doing. They have been serving up this new recipe. They've been giving us they've always had good matches. So there's that piece. That part, I will not ever say that they don't give us good matches, outside the fact of these goddamn false finishes. But ever since that false finish riddled pay-per-view that they had prior, where Jon Moxley won, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking stupid, and I almost didn't watch it no more. No. They've been cooking better. They got new recipes. They're doing better things. They've made it interesting, and they've even fixed the formula of how they do their matches. Fam, that match between the two of them, the Billy Goat versus the Cowboy, like on some real cowboy shit, dog. Like that, the fact that they was able to have that match be the last match, and the fact that they was able to shine bright enough, at least in my eyes, to be like, yep, you know what? Y'all took this to another level that the Anarchy in the Arena match could not do, and I am satisfied with this match. I'm floored. But then they continued it because Hangman Adam Page coming out there, giving this little talk, but then when Swerve came out, I'm telling you, bro, Swerve and Hangman, like Stone Cold Steve Austin's and Rock levels of like heat and chemistry that they got going on, dog. Like, okay, listen, bro, you cannot tell me that the story that these two have had for these last, like that, the story and the matches, okay? And then the story is continuing, and it's still fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very hard Like I could easily like for WWE right now, it's very hard for them to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like since The Rock and Stone Cold, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, you know, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, you know, like I would say the closest to like a really good long like what like really good kind of like these two, even though they may not be directly in a story with each other, the tension from their past feud is still there and it makes sense, and they will easily just revolt back to when they was doing that, even though they've been on opposite sides for a hot minute. Like WWE has not been able to do that for a while. Like I can't remember the last time something similar to that nature has been a thing.
I think, remember, I even sent you this post before we started the pod. I was like, bro, that moment when, like, I'm just kind of picking off of what you're saying. That moment when Austin came from Backlash and helped out The Rock. When have we had really crazy moments like that in wrestling where it was just the loudest pop? Everybody's feeding for it. It's such a big moment, you know?
And with Hangman Adam Page in Swerve right now, whether or not if they can get a big enough crowd to get a pop in that particular way, but it comparably speaking from the two big brands right now, WWE does not have that right now. They don't have anything close to it. They don't have a reoccurring rivalry that can happen, or like one of those moments where it's like they haven't fought each other in a hot minute, but as soon as they see each other in the ring, it's on site, or it's like they get each other's faces like, oh, so you think I forgot? Nah, I ain't forget shit. Nah, we can run this right now. You want to run this right now? Yeah, nigga, let's run this right now. All right, run it. And and then they start going at it. Hangman Adam Page and Swerve have that. And it has been happening throughout AEW up until this point. And now, with what they got going on, because now Hangman is being looked at as the golden child right now. He is the Jesus of AEW to get rid of and flush away the sin that is Jon Moxley. And Will Ospreay is trying to find Jesus's 12 disciples to help secure this bag, because since Will Ospreay did not win the match and Hangman did, Hangman is the only one that can free that belt from the grips that is Jon Moxley and his team type thing. But I do like the fact, like, because this also goes into Collision, right? Because Swerve out there, he's all like, hey, yo, listen, what you did is all fine and dandy and whatnot. But like, I was supposed to have that belt. And then your boys came out
like,
there.
did you actually get the Bucks to, help you out and shit like that? Like, what was going on there?
And so I love, like, once again, their interactions with each other is like, because it's one of those deals where it's like he wants to find out, but because they just fucking hate each other so deeply, it's like he gives him a straight answer, but it's like
it's not enough.
One of those, it's not only is it not enough, but the way that he gave the answer, he's like, "Listen, dumbass." So I was like, "Damn, all right." He said that.
Yeah, he did do that. All right. Dumbass.
Listen, he said that shit with his whole chest, bro. It's like, all right, dumbass. He said the fact that, nah, that wasn't me. If it was me, I would have came out there, I would have did it my fucking self. And Swerve's like,
valid.
You're full of shit, dog. And then here we have the resident Billy Goat coming out there and being all like, listen, Swerve, you know me, all right? We've come up in this business, blah, 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 but like, I fought this guy last week, or this past Sunday. He's not the nigga you was fucking with a minute ago, all right? Like, I could tell you right now, what he says is legit. He didn't do that shit. Swerve's like, nigga, if you don't get your ass out of my face, fuck this man.
Like,
I don't go for what you say. Like,
I remember that even like you're full of shit. Like it was like straight up went into it. No, I'm aware they can say certain swear words nowadays. It's just like one of those. It catches you off guard every fucking time. Every time.
And I'm just like the fact, and then for him to be all like, listen, I know y'all had y'all's differences, but like. And I think this is the part that gets me and why I'm like, I can't wait to see where this is going to go. Mm-hmm. Is the fact that Swerve, he's all like, listen, screw him. I should have been champion, but I'm not now, kind of thing. And so, just like how I had to fight and claw to get to the position where I was going to get that belt, that's what he's going to have to do as well, kind of thing. Because, like, what's his name is trying to get him to join sides, and he's all like, whoa, wait. You want me? Me? Swerve? To join up with Hangman Adam Page? What if you don't get that dumb shit out my face? At Collision, they showed another thing where he's talking and he's doing, like, he goes out there, he's like, because Swerve is about to leave, he's like, Swerve, you gotta hear me out, bro. He is our best chance of getting that belt off of him. Okay, like right now he is, and this is where he fucked up. He was like, right now he is the best wrestler in his business. Swerve's like, all right, I'm gonna stop you right fucking there. He is not the best wrestler here. Okay.
No, what's funny about it is this is the equivalent of Frieza and Goku saying, "Hey, we kind of have to team up to beat Jiren, bro. Like we got to team up."
And right now, but it's that, but the fact that Goku actually does not want to join up with Frieza, type thing. And then and of all people, we got fucking Vegeta out here is like, listen, if we want to get some shit done, you guys actually need to do the thing. Because if y'all don't, and Swerve right out here just like, fam, he was so disrespected when he said that shit. They actually went to blows on Collision. Like they literally started throwing hands with because what was it? Ospreay pushed him. Mm-hmm. I think Ospreay. Swerve pushed him. Ospreay pushed back, and Swerve just started swinging.
Overall, I feel like that whole scenario, just Hangman and pretty much Hangman and Swerve, it's the story that's never going to get old. It's never going to get old. And it's just going to keep getting better and better.
And I need it to. I absolutely need it to. This, like, as well as saying something like, ooh, this is the one thing that I hope they don't mess up. And I feel like at this point, it's really hard for them to screw it up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, talk about your girl, though. Timeless.
Tony? Oh, bro, she cooked Monet in that promo, bro. I don't give a fuck. She cooked her ass, dog.
Fam, I have never wanted to see Mercedes' match happen ever than what I actually do now. I'm locked in for this match.
As you should be.
Now, I will easily say, I've loved Sasha Banks' matches. Sasha Banks was cool. Mercedes Moné, but that the little spat that those two have with each other, oh yeah, I like that shit. It's going to be, and what's cool is like, which I know they didn't allude to any of it. However, it did make me kind of think with some of the ways that they was kind of moving and talking, because it's like, I was there when Toni Storm walked out of the WWE. It was at a house show, and it was a triple threat match. It was Sasha Banks, Toni Storm, and Charlotte Flair. And I believe Charlotte Flair went over, but it was like,
wasn't it the pie in the face thing?
No. This was like this was like a house show in Orlando. Just a random house show in Orlando on like a Tuesday. And like I remember watching that match, and like it was really good. And like her and Sasha at the time, like they was killing it in that match. And I remember like I knew there was something weird going on because like the way that Toni Storm left, and she kind of sort of like they kind of sort of like hugged it out a little bit type deal. Was like, oh, that's it, that's different. And then just to find out, oh, because she walked completely out of company. Understood. But like going back to this though, their promo that they had, like it went from me not caring about Mercedes in this match to like, okay, all right, I'm watching. You got me interested. And that's pretty hard right now when it comes to Mercedes and I really hope she loses. I need her to lose this match.
Because if she wins, I will riot. I will freaking riot.
I need her to lose this match because when she loses, you know, her undefeated streak is broken, and I feel as if that after that we're going to get the bankruptcy of the CEO situation probably going down, where she's going to like spiral downward. And then hopefully after this is when my girl, my AEW queen, Megan Bayne.
Oh, here we go, bro. I think you just got a thing for muscle mommies, bro. That's what it is, dog.
Listen. All right. Maybe. Not. I'm not supremely into muscle mommies, but there's a couple of them that do it for me, and Megan Bayne is one. All right. I mean, everyone loves Rhea Ripley. Okay.
Yes.
So it's like that's an unfair judgment if that's what you was judging me by. And Bianca Belair, you know, okay, sure. I mean, I guess.
No, there was a point where Charlotte Flair, as muscle and toned as she is, she wasn't muscle mommy. She's just more so muscle fit mommy. Does that make sense? Like she's like fit mommy.
That's a reach, but not. I'm only going to call it a reach. I can't agree with you that Charlotte Flair is a muscle mom. All right, but because like she don't just be throwing bitches around.
She's
like
tall. That. She bulky a little. Like
I mean, she is in shape. Okay,
that's what I said. Fit. I said fit.
Yeah, she's in shape, but she's not a muscle mom. You know what I'm saying?
Not completely, but you know what I'm saying?
No, I can't. No, not even completely. Let me put it this way.
All right.
Listen, we have seen what Rhea Ripley's done. Rhea Ripley has tossed my Queen Charlotte around. All right? You don't see Charlotte Flair tossing bitches. You see her tapping bitches out. But not just tossing bitches, all right? You know, if you're a muscle miner, you gotta toss somebody.
Okay. Well, in general, you have people who have queen concepts, and Charlotte Flair has a queen concept, and so does Megan Bayne. Listen,
I like queens.
Oh, this. So you want to be a peasant? You want to be a jester?
Listen, depends on what the job gives and what it pays. Listen, I will roll the carpet out for Charlotte Flair.
Not this level of Riz. Oh my god.
I will roll this carpet out for Charlotte Flair. If Megan Bayne needs a jester, fuck it. I'm in. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get my pat on the head. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I'll do it if I got to. But still, until I get hired, this is what I do. I boost and I push them up like they deserve to be.
I can't even say it's D-licking or D-riding. It's
see, you can't call it that only because you can't because they've earned it.
Megan Bayne has not earned it yet. You say she's already earned it?
Yes,
bro.
Have you seen?
Okay,
Have
if
you
you're talking
seen the
about match
beating?
wise, no. I'm talking about legacy wise. Charlotte, that makes sense. Okay, she's had multiple championships on her belt from NXT to both titles. Megan Bayne is just hitting the picture, and she's already your queen. Already,
Listen,
just because she laid some bitches out. Awesome Kong. Well, then Awesome Kong should have been your queen. Where was that?
no, Awesome Kong was a monster, and she wanted to be nothing else but one. All right, she was not queen presenting.
Okay, so queen-like concept characters where they're like, I am a goddess, I am someone who should be worshipped and loved. That is the thing you like.
Okay, I guess if that's what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
then sure. However, at the same time, what I'm saying is the fact that Megan Bayne is earned it, and she is proceeding to continue to. It'd be one thing if she came out there and presented herself as a queen and then got dog walked or something. All right, that'd be one thing.
You
But
could
that's
become
not what
queen
happened.
when you start winning titles. To me, okay, that's just how it is for me.
What? Well, that's I guess that maybe that's why you're sitting here queenless, huh?
No. Because I don't have to have a queen. Because mine is timeless. My woman is timeless. She could be a queen, has a reign. She has an era. She will one day have to pass down the throne. Mine is timeless. She has no era. The reign is forever. So technically, she's better than a queen. Boom.
I can't agree with all of that.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I can't stay inside with you with all of that.
Nah.
Especially.
So you telling me Tony Storm is not better than Megan Bayne? You tell me that right now.
I mean, let me see here. Tony Storm did beat her one
Swag,
time.
don't do this. Swag, don't do this. Don't do it.
By the skin of her teeth.
Don't do it, Swag.
Right. What
Don't do
tells
it,
me not to
Swag.
do?
Don't do
What
it
you
because
tell
you
me not
know
to
what
do?
you're fucking doing and you're trying to maneuver that shit around when you know what is real and just speak it. It's like you trying like, all right, look, on a technicality, Megan Bayne did lose to a roll up, but you know, like that's what's coming out right now.
But am I wrong though? Am I wrong?
But you're still not accepting.
I will accept the fact that sure she did get the one up on her, but they haven't ran it back since. Let that be noted as well. All right.
Same results.
All right. All right. Wait.
It's not Megan Bayne's time yet, man. She's still a little green. You know what I'm saying? Give her some time.
Listen, I'm not saying that it's whether it's not her time or not. All I'm saying is the fact that I acknowledge her queenhood.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike you, I can see royalty in her. You don't want to give it to her because you're like, oh, she's new, she just got here, she just beat up a couple of girls, sure, blah blah.
So
blah.
you're saying you're following the prophecy before without having to wait for it. You're just like, I'm gonna just let it cook. I already feel like it's a thing. I'm gonna let it cook.
Let me put this to perspective for you here. When Charlotte Flair first came up on the scene, I chose her out of the what was considered the four horsewomen. All right.
Yeah.
I picked Charlotte. I've been with Charlotte before the big titties and the nose job. Okay. I've been with Charlotte Flair since before she was doing figure eights and she was doing that one move where she just kind of like it's a jump over cutter. All right.
Oh,
down.
Wait, you don't even know. You don't even remember the move?
Yeah, because she ain't done it in a minute. All right. Like it used to be her finish, but it's not her finish anymore. Okay. But like, so I've been with her since then. Okay. And I've made it very clear that I've been with her since then. And this was before she even truly considered herself a queen. You know what happened when she became queen? I became the most hated person in the group chat Why? Because number one, I wasn't dick riding because I've been here since day one. Okay. And then
Like
number
with me and
two,
Cena.
number two, she continued to prove herself as to why she should be considered as such. There is not one person in our group chat who Charlotte has not made very upset about beating them and taking the belt from them, because that's what she does. All right. And so, considering that I have been with her from day one till now, it is undeniable of her queenhood. And I foresaw that she would be that particular queen. AEW's Megan Bayne right now, just like you don't see the forthcoming prophecy. Okay? As Paul Heyman would say, what I'm saying isn't a spoiler. Okay?
No, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
It is prophecy. It's going to happen. Megan Bayne is going to take that belt. She's just dealing with, and boy, oh boy, did she beat the brakes off of those bitches the other night.
And yo, Shorty was bloody. Bloody. I ain't gonna lie, she did leave him blood.
And so yes, I stand, I see it, and when everything happens,
and you will continue to ride. Got it. So
listen. All I want to say. When it comes crashing down and hurts inside, don't come hollering at me, because I'm just going to be all like, I told you.
You know what? It's okay, because when you have the answers, I just change the questions. Okay? Speaking of changing the question, let's actually get into the fucking topic of the day. Which was supposed to be catchphrases, which I find it funny. You did a catchphrase, and I had to counter your catchphrase with my catchphrase. So, but yes, today's topic, outside of the hour 15 minutes of just ranting about wrestling, we were going to talk about some of the greatest catchphrases that we've known in wrestling. And real quick, it was going to be a conversation started. Do you know whose catchphrase that was?
That one?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, no.
Roddy Piper.
Okay, I remember. So I'll be honest with you, when it comes to catchphrases, unless it found a way to apply to like everyday life for me, they don't normally stick too good, or at least they'll stick for a little bit. But then they end up
wait, motherfucking wait. Breaking news. R-Truth and Carlito are released by WWE.
Oh, that was something I was going to get at. Yes, that was news I saw like 9-10 o'clock this morning. And there's first it was a tweet, and then the group chat looked into it, and it was discovered to be true. So R-Truth's last match was fighting Mateo.
I was about to say his last match was actually fighting his childhood hero, but then you're right, he fought Jeff Cobb. Wait, was it Jeff Cobb?
That's what I said, Mateo.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's his new name. Yeah, I forgot that's his new name. I'm still calling him Jeff Cobb.
I do like that they said they still give him the JC, which stands for Jeff Cobbs, but yeah, but what they're making their money off of is Mateo.
Yeah,
it's stupid, but it is what.
I mean, it's stupid for him that he accepted it.
Mateo is a weird name. I can't even say it's a weird name, because I got a homie whose actual name is Mateo.
But this is we call him Matt. I gotta see if that's like, what kind of connection is that? But either way, that was just a real quick break.
But the R-Truth bit, I'm not sorry, the Carlito bit, it's new.
Yeah, I just got news about this potentially has happened as well. Hold on, Carlito.
There's more information.
He's 46 years old.
Yeah, he's been around. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. 46. Which
Yeah,
makes
they were
sense.
not. No, he's not released. I think they just not renewing his contract.
Which also makes sense. Listen, since Carlito's come back, he hasn't really had an actual match. He's been a, as I was saying, he gets his one bump a night.
He got
In his
speared and
TV
he
time.
got paid for it.
He gets TV time, one bump a night,
TV
and he
time.
goes home and he gets paid. Like, ooh, and you saying that, which actually was the one little last thing I did want to say about, because like with SmackDown, there wasn't a whole bunch of stuff that I think really was like super big that happened on SmackDown. But one thing I did want to say is that the women's Money in the Bank is hot as fuck right now. And I think the women's Money in the Bank is going to be so much better than the guys' one. Like,
it's been that way for the last couple of years, man. The women's matches are kind of a little bit better than the guys.
Well, but see, like, the build, specifically the build up, because yes, the women always somehow end up outperforming the guys, right? Which that has been a thing. But the build up though, leading into the Money in the Bank, like, I think this is the hottest the females' Money in the Bank has been built. Like, especially with how like SmackDown was going, like the women's Money in the Bank is getting so hyped up right now that I'm just like, man, the men's one it just feels boring, which is crazy.
It's crazy to say, yes.
But that was the one main point that I wanted to put out there. That and the fact that like Naomi coming out there confronting Bianca and was all like
very stalker like.
Oh my god, yeah, that whole bit, and then but then it's like she flipped the script, was all like, listen, I will beat your ass. I was like, well, okay, Naomi, all right, Naomi, you boy, she crazy right now, and I love it. But these catchphrases, proceed with caution.
Yes, so catchphrases. So that first one was Roddy Piper, and I found a game that was like, hey, try to see if you can say a catchphrase without actually saying it in the tone and everything, and that person can catch it. And I had a couple of them like that, right? But in general, I just wanted to have the conversation on just the best catchphrases of all time and to see if what was your favorite kind of growing up, if you had a favorite, or if you had a contender that was considered a favorite catchphrase. Before I kind of went into this,
I don't think I've ever had like a true favorite. There's always catchphrases that I like, and then there are also catchphrases that I like hold near and dear, like to the point where I'm like, I'd legitimately just steal that and just make it my own. What is there? Well, number one, when it comes to like favorite catchphrases, or I would say catchphrases that I just use in like everyday talk, like number one, Joker Sting, ta-ta for now. That's how I end my conversations. And then there's what is the other one? Because there's another one that I do very often say, but now I'm drawing a blank because I didn't write any of these down.
Wasn't the Big Show?
Well, see, that's not even a catchphrase.
Yeah, I remember that's one of the things you say you do often.
But it is a catchphrase of mine.
Yeah.
But like, ooh. See, now I have to rethink about.
Do you remember the wrestler's name at least?
Oh, I don't even. I can't recall like whose catchphrase it was per se, but I mean, but ones that I know that I do use often, like nowadays, as far as like from current catchphrases, like LA Knight. Let me talk to you.
Yeah. Do it.
The only reason why I don't do that is because I try not to yell in the house a lot. There was a time that I did, but then like my son feels like, oh well, if Daddy can yell all the fucking time, then maybe I can yell. I was like, no, son, you're too loud. And then
You're
when
putting
I
too
do
much
that,
umph in your voice, son.
and then of course, whenever I do that, if I'm loud, my son will be like, "Daddy, you're too loud." I'm like, "Boy, if you don't sit,
Let me be daddy.
skedaddle, freaking daddle, kid." Like,
So, but if you can come up with it at some point, please.
oh no, I'm going to contemplate what is like the other catchphrase I do use often, or it'll just come out and I'll just say it casually.
Okay.
And every once in a while, someone will catch that, be like, "Hey, that's so and so." Okay, all right. It'll come.
But when it comes to catchphrases, I mean, I never really had a super like that was my favorite of all time. I mean, obviously I'm an Austin fan, so that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so. And then The Rock's catchphrases are obviously some of the best of all time. That's hands down. Finally The Rock has come back to whatever city he's in. Obviously, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, it doesn't matter what your name is. Like all those catchphrases, The Rock is well known for that. Like it's hands down, but none of them are like best catchphrase of all time for me.
I don't think I honestly truthfully have a best catchphrase of all time.
And I feel like it's a good thing because we're both here right now.
What?
We're both here right now on that. Like, what is like? Do we have one? And if not, like, what are some that are really good? So,
I mean, I know I myself from time to time will give out a like for instance, like The Rock's catchphrase, not even the full thing, just the finally, like I'll do finally in The Rock's voice kind of thing. But outside of that, man, I'm really blanking on the catchphrase now. Like
the Ayatollah of rock and roller. That was
never, absolutely not.
I never would say it, no. But like
now, one thing it's not a catchphrase, but something that I used to do. You know how Chris Jericho, when he would come out and he have his back turned, he does like that spin type deal. I used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I used to do the "Would you please shut the hell up?" I did used to do that at one point in my life.
Of course, because you're a disrespectful son of a bitch.
Okay, when somebody's saying something and I'm like, "Could you please shut the hell up?" All right, look, man,
you know how rude that is.
You know how rude it is, whatever they was fucking saying. Anyway, other catchphrases that there are. I don't remember
how you literally just tried to blow past the fact
that's what we gonna do. So we have John Cena.
The fact that you're a
we have John Cena. You want some? Come get some. There's that catchphrase. John Cena, the champ, is here. You obviously have Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do? Wasn't it what you gonna do, brother? When Hulkamania runs wild. I don't think you ever hit that one, do you?
I've never.
Okay.
Not on a repetitive basis, or unless I'm specifically referring to something Hulk Hogan like that's not gonna work for me, brother. Like greatest catchphrase of all time, right there.
That's not gonna work for me, brother. Apparently, Ted DiBiase had one. I don't ever remember him saying this. I'm money and you know it.
I'm money and you know it. No,
I've never heard of that.
Everybody's got a price. But
yeah, everybody has a price, but I never heard of that one. Apparently, that's one.
But I can hear him saying that though.
But it also makes me think of MJF is "I'm better than you and you know it." Like, which another thing. MJF is he is a student of the game. He has taken a couple of catchphrases from certain people, like the greatest trick the devil greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making you believe he doesn't exist, and that was a Jake the Snake one, and MJF started saying it, so it was like, but Jake the Snake was in the background of AEW at that time, so I'm like, he's a student of the game. Yeah, he's a student of the game.
I'm sure he gave that to him. Man, I would love to have Jake the Snake let me have something like that. Like as a Snake boy myself.
Trust me.
Local Slytherin.
Trust me. Yes. Yes. That is one. Woo woo woo. You know it. Zack Ryder. This is my yard now. Roman Reigns. Fuck no. That was ass.
I was about to say like Undertaker.
Apparently that was a Roman Reigns one. Because I guess after when
he took it from Taker.
Yeah.
And proceeded to take it because he beat Taker's ass.
Cream of the crop we have is Macho Man Randy Savage. We all know that one. Uso Penitentiary.
Funky like a monkey. Better than the best. That's my favorite.
Macho
Man.
Oh, okay. Better than
like all those things that I said are like Macho Man things. Cream of the crop. Funky like a monkey, stars the limit, and her space is the place. I only know these things because I've done like a deep dive in Macho Man because I had to be Macho Man for a D&D game, so I used all of these catchphrases that he used to say. But yeah, the funky like a monkey, sky's the limit, space is the place. You know, those are things that he did used to say a lot. And then when he was going through his King of the Ring situation, he was better than the best. He wasn't the best. He was better than the best.
So I remember something. So another one was like, well, obviously, you know, Bret Hart is like the best there is, there best there was, that best there ever will be. Let me see what else was there. Apparently, Ryback's "Feed Me More" was on one of the best catchphrases, I guess. And I'm like,
listen. As a old Ryback head, I fucked with it. Because I'll admit, what?
I still actually have one of his shirts too.
Listen, I have a necklace, like the bear trap necklace with the R. I got his beanie with the R on it. I got the fucking Ryback armband. Like, I don't think I have his shirt. I don't think I do. But like, yeah, no, I was a Ryback fan. I will easily admit. Now, granted, what he's done now and like, you know, what he has come out saying and stuff like that, I don't agree with. But like when he was in WWE, I fucked with him. You know what I'm saying? I was out there, feed me more, wake up, it's feeding time, like meat on the table, that's what you are. Like I'm
meat on the table, and that's what you are.
Yeah. Listen.
Also, I have to apologize to Penta. Cero miedo. What am I doing? That is a catchphrase.
It's a way of life.
It is. I think that's what it was for me when I didn't think about it for. I was like, wait, cero miedo. That is a catchphrase. What else is there? I know there's one other. There's one that's actually really cool to me. I don't think you've ever seen Evil wrestle in New Japan. He had one that was "Everything is evil."
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I like that one because I mean, obviously his name is Evil, and it says everything is evil, so that means everything is me.
That makes sense. I see where he's going with that now. I'm seeing where he's going with that. I mean, now one I know I did use for a while back in the day was "Sorry about your damn luck." Lie, cheat, and steal. That's one that I actually, oddly enough, me and my boy Kyle, when we were in middle school, at a Christian school no less, literally was all like, "Nah, we're gonna live by that shit," and boy did we. The amount of shit that I would steal from people and then lie about having it.
You came up with it.
Oh, fam. Me and my boy Kyle, we was bad. The things that we would do, like we were low-key bullies. We were bullies with the veil of being good kids. So it's like no one saw or noticed the bullying that we did but like, we knew how to cover it up and put on the act that we were legitimately great, outstanding Christian citizens out here in this world, while we'd literally be in the fucking bathroom beating the shit out of people. Like fucking, it was great. It was great. Good times. Good times.
Did y'all just hear this man just reflect on him being a complete shit in school? All right. So
listen, sometimes, but it was like, it wasn't like complete. Like, let me put it this way, one of the things that one of our most famous acts of violence, right? Just a quick deviation. We were outside throwing the football, right?
mm-hmm.
And one of the neighborhood kids came by, and he rode by and he caught the ball. And we're all like, bro, give us back the ball. Give us back the ball. He's like, I got your ball, blah, blah, blah. So, we pursued him. We chased him down, right? Well, homie thought he was safe because he ran inside of his house. We're like, all right, cool. All right, we got something for him, right? So we show up, and his little sister was there. And his little sister was cool with us. We're like, hey, is your brother here? And she's like, he is, but like he told me I'm not supposed to let you out. He's like, listen. He has our football. He stole it from us. So we're just gonna, if you let us in, we're gonna like surprise him. And we're gonna get the football from him, blah blah blah, right?
Home invasion?
And she's all like, no, we didn't invade.
You would let
just
in.
like vampires. We asked to come in.
Get out of here, bro.
We convinced her that we just want to get our football back. All right. And she's all like, oh, he stole it from us? Like, yeah, he stole it from us. Now, we already had this. Actually, we didn't even have a plan. We was like, we're going to go in here. We're going to jack his ass up. Pause. And we're going to get our ball back. And show no remorse about it, right? So, but we were like, yeah, no, we just want to talk to him. We just want to get the football back. She's like, all right. Yeah, we'll let you in. So we come up with this whole little thing where it's like she would like out route to say like, yeah, no, he's not in here, blah blah blah. He's gone. This and the other. And it's like, okay, cool. We hid in the house, waited for him to come free, and she kind of like coaxed him out of the room. And I remember this because I was like, I hid like in like this little side room that was right next to their couches. And so we're hiding. She helped us plan this part, right? We're hiding. He comes out, and then me and my boy Kyle, we bust out of that bitch. And Kyle was the muscle, okay? He was the muscle of this. I was the brains of the operation, and I was the interrogator. I was the talker in this particular case, right? So we come out, and Kyle grabs him, right? And we're wrestling with him and everything and stuff like that. And his sister, she's laughing about it and stuff like that. He manages to break free and he runs to his room and tries to lock the door. But we get to the door first, so we stop. And, the whole time, because like Kyle, he's in go mode, right? He's trying to get him. And I'm just all like, homie, we just want our football back. You know what I'm saying? You gonna give us the football? We managed to like pin him down kind of thing where he couldn't move. And I think like Kyle was holding him down. I think I grabbed his hands, right? And he's all like, I'm not telling you, I ain't gonna tell you where the ball is. I'm not gonna tell you. It's like, oh, is that so? Okay. Hey, Kyle. Pink belly. And
okay, so this is like harmless fun.
Depends on what you feel a pink belly's harmless. Remember Ed and Eddie?
Yeah, I know a pink belly is, just nice little slap.
Oh, well, Kyle does not know his own strength.
Okay, yes, Kyle.
And we slapped the shit out of him. He's like, pink belly. He's like, ah. I was like, hey, man, what's it gonna be? Where's the football at? And he's like, he's like yelling at everything, wanting to cuss us out. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Kyle, pink belly.
You broke into this man's. No, not broke into. You let in this man's house.
We were
let in this
invited
man's
in.
house.
We tried to negotiate our football back. He refused to deliver.
Y'all didn't think about talking to a parent, nothing. Y'all just...
Fam, this is a cul-de-sac in the middle of a summer day. Ain't no parents home right now.
Oh my God.
As a matter of fact, parents did not find out about all of this until like 8 o'clock going into the next day. Listen, long story short, we got the football back, but homie had like a big ass welt on his belly, bro.
By beating his ass in his own. You know how terrified, how that man probably thought he was about to die that day. Not really, but like motherfuckers came in his house. He thought he was gonna get away with shit. I bet you he took that with him forever.
He did for a minute. He listen, after that happened, no one ever stole our football.
I didn't know you out here being a goon like fucking Brody King.
Nah, we weren't goons like Brody King. We were just on our lie, cheat, and steal type shit.
How was that? What was there lying and stealing? You were beating somebody's ass.
All right, so maybe that was more like an APA type situation.
Yeah, that was APA. That was definitely APA. Which, speaking of which, I am pretty hype about the fact that the new career, well, it's in the career, yeah, new career path I'm going into, and I found like the acronym for my job title is literally APA, and I was APA. Like,
do you do APA shit or no?
No.
It's just APA by name, but not by.
I'm not protecting them. I am their point of contact. So I'm not beating nobody's ass, but like they would come to my office, and be, knock on the door. Hey, knock on the door. Don't go past the door. Yeah. How everybody did. Everybody just went past the door.
They just walked past it. Yeah. Good old APA.
Yes. Yeah, I watched that Untold of them and everything, and the breakdown of just their tag team and everything is great. That's another catchphrase we can talk about. Damn, right there. Wrestling God is another one too.
Oh, wrestling God. I definitely Farouk damn from time to time. I definitely still.
Anytime I've seen certain things happen, like somebody, like before when somebody would get knocked out in something, I would hit the damn, but now it's definitely Andy's home. that is my new shit. Anybody gets knocked the fuck out, Andy's home.
Wow. That's
it is.
I'm not
hilarious.
Gonna lie. You saying it that way, I would love to have a finishing move that's called Andy's home. That's
and they got a ragdoll afterwards. Whatever happens, it's got to ragdoll them.
Like it'd have to be like some kind of like something like when like you get hit with it, it makes you kind of like bounce back up and then drop. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of a good, like the first like came to mind was like a DDT, but
no, kind of almost like how Lost in the Woods or Eat Defeat, like how after they get hit with it, ragdoll.
Yeah, hit him with that Andy's home.
Mm-hmm.
Which you said that. Well, nah, I'm gonna bring that up on a later.
Okay.
Because it doesn't relate to the fact of catchphrases.
Okay.
But I'll bring it up another time because it's an interesting observation that I've been noticing about wrestling as of late. But
okay. Well, how about this? Yeah. Do you feel like the observation could be a topic that would lead an episode?
I don't know. But it's an interesting thing to note and talk about, especially when you compare like old wrestling to new or old wrestling to where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more so just which I can understand why it has gone this way, because me and my roommate, who is a actual indie wrestler right now, kind of brought it up because he also kind of follows this trajectory of selective moves that you do, and it's the fact that like no one's really slamming niggas no more.
What do you mean?
Think about it? I'm talking like you see a lot. For instance, we have the buckshot lariat. We have that switchblade. We have the mollywop.
I think I get what you're coming from now.
All these different kicks and stuff like that. You know, we have a lot of these moves that are coming out nowadays. Freaking the Rainmaker. You know, a lot of the moves that wrestlers are doing, especially when I'm noticing like with finishes. A lot of the more popular wrestlers right now who have these finishes, the moves that they do, they're not power bombs anymore. They're not choke slams and stuff. And even more so, the ones that they do still do, like, God, they're disgracing the tombstone nowadays. It's like
constantly using it on everybody. Yes.
How do you drop a nigga on his head? But kick out.
At 2?
At 2. Or sometimes crazily at 1. But I just ripcord elbow you in the face and you're sleeping for good. I just spinning backhand you. But prior to this,
a spinning backhand can legit knock a motherfucker out. All right, we've seen it in
MMA. Which is true, and I'll give it that. But at the same time, you know, before when you get drived into the mat so excruciatingly hard and whatnot, being slammed on the mat off of the top rope, but I punch you one time in the face and you drop. Granted, I've been punching you the whole match, but this one particular punch, when I wind it up in a certain way, even though I've dropped you on your head, hit you with a DDT, neck breaker, you know, all these things, but that forearm though.
Hold on. You know why? Their head wasn't at red damage. They hit the move at green and then expect the finish to be over. You know what? You know it, dog. You're sitting there and you're thinking about it because you fucking know, dog.
That is not a justifiable answer in any way, shape, or form.
Oh my god!
I no longer want to speak to you. Like, just be gone. Goddamn.
Oh my god! No, that's so fucking good. That is so fucking. So basically, you want to do an episode on talking about like the legitimacy of finishers again, like having finishers. I'll be great again, basically. Where if you hit it, it makes sense.
We can definitely talk about that because I feel finishers don't mean anything anymore.
Okay, well, how about this? What I want you to do for the next episode is give me a couple examples. So that way, you know, especially when making clips and stuff like that, I can use those examples. I can literally pull up those matches, pull up those moments and be like, hey, this is an example of a constant, you know, with that.
I listen, because funny enough, that particular bit, I, once again, speaking with my wrestling roommate, freaking my wrestler roommate, goodness. But like, we kind of touched on it and it was like, man, it's pretty rough. It's pretty bad. And there's plenty that I can show. And because of the fact that WWE's been doing the AEW shit for a little bit now, there's plenty to show from AEW and WWE. There's part of me that does feel that it's AEW's fault, but that's neither here nor there. But
it is a large portion of it, yes.
I will produce some some show in regards to that particular point.
legitimacy and finishers. I think that'd be a great talk away. Because I mean, like, I even have moments where I'd be like, "Yo, bro, how did you kick out of that?" Like, especially, I know when you was watching the Anarchy in the arena match. Say we know that the one winged angel, that's a finish that, yo, if you hit it, donezo, right? But I feel like because of how AEW is sometimes, if it was maybe like a spine buster off the stage into that sparkling table, if he would have kicked out at 2.
He said that sparkling table.
It sparkled. What the fuck was it for? But the sparkle. Was it supposed to electrocute somebody?
Listen.
Nobody told me that.
Using the catchphrase, and you'll see where I'm going with this. The most dangerous 3 letters in wrestling entertainment. After the last display, they don't seem dangerous anymore.
The RKO?
Brother. You watched the same pay-per-view.
I know he did like 3. No, wasn't it that the John Cena one when he did like 4? He did like 4 RKOs.
Most dangerous? Are they?
But it's Cena though.
After 4?
It's Skio though.
Okay. Sure. Cena.
Well, I will end it off with this, guys. You know, the main topic of today was catchphrases. If you have any catchphrases from your favorite wrestlers of all time, please let us know in the comments. Also, it gives a chance for Swag. If you probably throw up some of those in the comments, maybe Swag might respond and say, hey, you know what? Actually, that might be one of mine. Okay. I know for me, it took me a minute to realize, since it is a way of life, it is a catchphrase for him, but it's settle middle. If not, it's probably any of Austin's catchphrases, but because I'm a big Austin fan. But as we're going to go into next week's episode to give you guys a chance to prepare, look at some of the legitimacy and finishers that we have in wrestling today, or even in the past. What were some moves that you guys were aware of that once it hits, it's done? We have the Razor's Edge. We have the One Winged Angel. And back in the day, it was Damien's Dinner Time. When he hit that damn DDT, it was donezo. Okay, it was over. But we will be back with our next episode. It is the Masaku.
It's your boy Swag Switch in the building.
And guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media when it comes to BBOD Podcast. Until next time, guys, have a great one.